This is Calicat, the Calicat's turn. This is a review of the 2 final episodes of Earthspark, Transformers Earthspark. This one is the one aired in late 2025 and then again in April of 2026. Is the Hometown Heroes. This is the one the fans were complaining about. Didn't think there were fans. So there, so there's a. Yeah, clearly they ran out of stories or studio or whatever. They changed studios in the second season, and then that other studio was doing stuff. That's what happened. And when they changed studios, all the controversy that was with the first studio season was gone. They just didn't address it. Season 2 and season 3. There've only been roughly 47 episodes, so that makes 44, 45, 46 episodes. So this makes this the season 4 finale, where they apparently got a chance to do the last set for the season. They go to Cybertron. To catch you up to date in the story, this is an alternate universe of the Transformers in the multiverse, in which the Transformers had a different history than the OG one. Where the Autobots and Decepticons get trapped on Earth, on the East Coast instead of the West Coast, and instead of being Oregon, and near Mount St. Helens. Now they're in the East Coast, like Pennsylvania or something, in the town of Witwicky, which is it's almost a spiritual sequel to Transformers Animated, more so than a sequel to the other stuff. So it has goofy designs or different, whatever, cheaper toys. And there's a toy line, of course. So in this one, the Megatron and some of the Decepticons have given up being Decepticons because they've been trapped there for 30 years, almost 40 years, and so they are. So it's a different universe. Starscream. Most of the Decepticons are still there, but they're bad guys. Megatron is supposedly an Autobot, so it's like the comic books. It's like the IDW comic book. So it's a little weird, but it's consistently weird. It's not weird because of Nightshade. No, that's not what makes it weird. We've included a version of Nightshade in our stuff as well. The little owl character, Yes, that's not weird. The right-wingers freaked out in the first season about the character being trans, which is ridiculous because it's in the name. and it was a different studio the first season as well, and they bowed to the pressure of the people complaining, even though they hadn't seen the episode yet, of one of the characters having gender preferences that were different, which is messed up. So they didn't address it later on. It's messed up that they complained. It's 2023 when that episode aired. It was not an impact on the story at all in any way. They probably also didn't like that the heroes were some sort of islanders or Puerto Ricans or something. They didn't like that, which means they're probably racist and probably weren't watching the show anyway. So. They are annoying at times, but that isn't why. They're just annoying at times. In this one, we have this episode, 1 hour episode, because they've basically aired this as the 4th season, even though it's technically the end of the 3rd. And it's so there's 2 episodes in here. It's like an hour, almost 3, and they just combined them into, and you can tell it's 3 different episodes. There's the bully episode, there's the escape episode, and then there's the space bridge episode. So there's 3 episodes. And they've put them all as one story and call it Hometown Heroes. And the next one on Cybertron, they're going to do the same thing. So it's like one of the All Transformers Mush episodes where they combine them to a 1 hour adventure. Even they got to tell there's 3 acts. Clearly the Mandroid head is lying about the bully to lure the bullies to messing with Robbie, and then release the alien. Release the alien head guy and Starscream from prison. How their key cards for the one character would not be changed immediately after that person passed away is unknown, and why didn't the uncle, who was the agent, mention that, like, directly, is unknown. Um, the whole story is the impetus on the bully deciding to go after the Maldo boy, who after he uses his powers recklessly, here's his stuff. This episode is controversial in that Hot Rod turns out to be a Decepticon. Spoilers. He wants the powers of the Decepticon. He's Rodimus Unicronus in this version, and that would be consistent with all Transformers Mush 2020. So they're reading my stuff. Yeah, except Rodimus Unicronus and Maxis Carter were kind of buddies, so it was kind of the archetype of the Prime and Megatron. It wasn't. Yeah, they were buddies. They were sort of neutral Autobots and Decepticons. They were like wreckers, but they were playing like neutrals, and they were of the Legion Maximo. And Liege Maximo was originally not a prime, but Liege Maximo was a group, a colony set up by Liege Maximo many years ago. So they took the name Liege Maximo. But it's revealed in my universe that the fan films, which they probably watched, they were GoBots actually. Liege Maximo founded Gobatron basically. Didn't say that he didn't. So, yeah, Gobatron. The GoBots are... It's indirectly the GoBots. Yes. And it was actually Turbo and Psykill that were they were buddies. Anyway, so that became Draconis Prime and Maxis Carter. Rodimus Unicronus. In my story. Here it's similar enough that, yes, they must have watched it and kind of got some elements of it right. Kind of like the people doing that Supergirl movie. They kind of got some of the comic book right, but not all of it. I don't think they were necessarily trying to do the comic book, though. Anyway, that's another story. But were they trying to do the Transformer comic book here? Sort of, kind of. And, so the bad guys use some kind of element, probably Dark Energon, or Malgus Energy, that they pour on the space bridge to make the space bridge open again. If they could have done that to begin with, then why didn't they? And then Optimus and the others go through it, but Megatron stays on Earth, and then they're captured. And then Rodimus Unicronus comes back, and he's like being a jerk. So the controversy was that he was being a jerk. But if he's Rodimus Unicronus, it makes sense. I mean, instead of if Unicron never came to Cybertron in their universe, instead it was something else, then he would be the herald of Unicron and Legion Maximo and all that. Gonna guess that's what's gonna happen next. We're gonna see some kind of something like that. The Malto kids get pulled into the other universe, but wouldn't that destroy them? It should. Theoretically kill them. He takes the arm sleeves from them and goes through and escapes. There's a lot of characters like over testing themselves and overclocking themselves, trying to be the best without earning it or without talking to the older people. So there's this weird dynamic of kids getting in trouble or subordinates getting in trouble and not discussing it with their parents. That's not cool. But other than that, I guess they kind of had to go over and Nightshade helps in the story, but has no reference to anything else. But also the Pachysaur guy. Yeah, so who sounds like Tim. He's in there too. You've got let's go on to the next one. This one, the lead up to Cybertron. Obviously, this was meant to be 2 1-hour things together, 6 episodes all together, and they just separated it into 2 stories: the Hometown Heroes and the finale. We're going to go on to the finale now. Yeah. This is Calicat, the Calicaster, and this is a review of the final episode of Transformers Earthspark. So earlier it was actually 2 episodes, 45 minutes. This one was an hour, so it was an hour and 6, so it's 3 episodes. So there were 5 episodes season 4. They go on to Cybertron, and Legion Maximo shows up. A cooler purple looking Legion Maximo, or cooler than the green one. And we have, and he's essentially playing the role of Megatronus, and a little bit of Unicron. and a little bit later, a little bit of some of the others. Because he's not really Megatron. He just has all the pieces, all the weapons, consistent with all Transformers Smash. Yes, I wasn't a consultant on Earthspark Season 4, but it's real close. But yeah, I was not. Yeah, they reference that family dynamic there. They have to rescue the Malto children that have gone to the space warp to find them. Mirage joins up with them. He's been on the planet. They're. It's supposed to be the show starts 15 years after the space bridge stopped, and it came out in what 2020. So when does this take place? It's a little unclear. Now it is clear if you say okay if this is a spinoff of the other of Transformers Animated, not Transformers Prime, as Cyberverse and the others are. But then Transformers Prime. I haven't seen Cyberverse, but and the other Robots in Disguise, they're all spin-offs of the later one, the 2015 one. If that's what they're saying, then yeah, it doesn't really match up. So yeah, it's a multiverse, and at least Maxwell's plan is to use all the stuff from the different elements, the Enigma of Combination, and the other stuff to reactivate the well of Allspark seems to be unrelated to the Allspark. The Allspark is hidden somewhere. They got to go find it. It's being held back by some kind of damage to it with a dart from the bad guy. It's a little bit like the Shard in the Michael Bay one. It's not though. There's a lot of one of the devices they have is a time thing that they probably got from Vector Prime, time axe that they use to revive some of them at the end. There's and they set it up for a sequel because they revived Megatron, but it's an earlier Megatron. But yeah, there's a he is blasted by the Requiem blaster. That's the Calicat story. By the shoots him. Although strangely enough, the original G1 continuity of that and the show's Bible is Megatron has the Requiem blaster. It's his canon. There were other versions of it though in the TransTech fan films, in the Trans fan film. Trans fan films and what were on video in '86 when the show aired. So they're going with the fan film from '86, the Trans and Trans 2. Trans 2 was 1992 or so. They're going with that. OG Trans. They're aware of my fan films. That's very strange, but not unusual. I mean, they kind of set it up that it's a different continuity anyway. They're probably not really. They're just aiming for that. This appears to be the finale. They've done 5 episodes in the 4th season and stopped. But they say it's not canceled. They say it's not canceled because they set it up for a screwy sequel thing they probably shouldn't do. They probably just should have had him be awakened and stopped at the end. The Autobots get low on energon at one point, and the bad guys are after them. Twitch is saves them by she's got the Matrix at one point. And she uses that to go to the Allspark thing and free the other ones that get in prison. It's weird that they can breathe on Cybertron, and that the kids managed to get a hold of some exosuits. Nod to the original show where they get the exosuit. That implies that they've already been there. That implies like the other universes already. That some of the G1 continuity is still there. They just forgot about it. That would suggest more that the other continuity does exist, but they're just not aware of it. They have a conundrum, a memory block thing. And that they're actually just another group of Transformers from Cybertron, which kind of doesn't work, but if that's the only controversy, then sure, it works. If they were... Yeah, so they wouldn't know the other stuff. It doesn't break canon. It's fine, because it's its own canon. The, the the bullies are totally absent from this because the kids go to Cybertron. The parents go after them. The Autobots go after them. The Liege Maximo is controlling the Decepticons, which he would do. Um, and did they make a toy? I don't know. That one? Yeah, he's acting more like the Megatron from Beast Machines, who was like wearing the cape. And his horns are his weakness somehow. I guess, yeah. And he uses the web world connector thing from referencing several games and things, but mainly the Marvel comics with the Celestials, which is consistent with some of the Marvel comics that they reference it. And the Cyber Key planets from Transformers Cybertron. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's another Allspark, and down the planet to the Well of Sparks, the Allspark. That all is later stuff after the officially canonized with the Michael Bay movies, and from there. The Sparks were earlier, though. The Well of Sparks was actually, that version of it was Beast Machines, Beast Wars, and then Beast Machines in the 1990s. Well, so you have a fairly decent episode reminiscent of Transformers Prime when they went to Cybertron and the Transformers Prime finale, the Rise of the Beast, and that version of Rise of the Beast, their version. They have to stop Liege Maximo. The sandstorm is getting to them. Instead of 2 acts, it's 3 acts. There's the jeopardy is that they're running out of energon when they're on the planet. That kind of makes sense. Doesn't explain why Mirage is using a pit that's running around back and forth. They get Mirage right. The hologram. But actually, they kind of do and they kind of don't. They kind of give him Hound's powers. Yeah, and from Rise of the Beast, the movie. I think they just got it from that. Yeah. It came out in 2025, so these 2 episodes came out in 2025. Hot Rod eventually reveals that he was just working for Legion Maximo because he was lied to, basically. So there's like that. It's a family dynamic thing. There's any number of things that kind of work, some things that don't. And in the end, I guess they save the day. They defeat Legion Maximo, cut his horns off, and they take his stuff. But Megatron is shot by the Requiem Blaster. And Twitch has the Matrix, and Robbie pulls the dart out of the Allspark and cures it somehow. Yeah. So anyway, that's fine. For all the negative publicity this show got back in 2022, 2023, doesn't deserve it. Nothing wrong with it. It's a Transformers cartoon. There's nothing, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't indoctrinate anybody. If anything, it mixes up the lore a little bit, and doesn't really work for some. The penultimate episode was actually more controversial because it was kind of a mess. But then the characters that were out of character made more sense in the finale. They explained it. I don't think they're going to make any more, though. I don't think so, because they released these 2 that normally would have been half-hour long episodes as 2 1 hour. Well, you got a 45-minute one and a 1 hour and 6-minute one. They released them as full as a chunk of 2 larger episodes. Yeah, I don't think they intend to do anymore, but they could, but they kind of shouldn't at this point to get back to the planet. And if the story began in 2021, that means the space bridge went down in 2008. Is that right? Yeah. That's it. But it's not the Bayverse, though. It clearly isn't. It's really more like the animated one with the Suntax. which does take place in the 22nd century, so it's 100 years later. This one doesn't seem to do that. Yeah, anyways. It doesn't fit with Earthspark and Cybertron either, although they do reference, apparently, that Cyberworld does reference this in some ways. But really, it does its own thing. So, now, we're not going to do a review of Robots in Disguise 2 or Cyberworld or the other Cybertron. We're not doing that. I just wanted to go through all of Earthspark and have it be done. So I did. So the other ones are harder to find, for one thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's it. You're watching that review of it worked. Yeah. So trolls that were complaining about a show that starred a cast of multiracial characters and a trans robot were upset that that was the case because of prejudice. Yeah. So yeah, it had no bearing on the story. They were just screwy. For them to be complaining about that. There's nothing wrong with it. So there's your review of Earthspark, finale of Earthspark.